They say the energy of your entire home begins at the front door, but most people never stop to ask what their door is really saying. Not to guests, not to delivery drivers, but to opportunity, to peace, to life itself. Because while we spend time decorating, sweeping, or even upgrading our entrance with stylish touches, we often overlook the invisible messages this space is sending every single day. And those messages, they're shaping everything. Your sense of calm, your relationships, even your financial flow. That's not mysticism, that's energy literacy. And today we're going to explore it in a way that might just shift how you see your entire home and your future. Now pause for a moment. Imagine standing at your front door, not rushing out, not fumbling with your keys, not answering a knock, but simply noticing the mat beneath your feet, the objects sitting near the threshold, the shoes, the plants, the forgotten trinkets, or even the dusty corner you swore you'd clean last weekend. All of these elements, though small, are not random. They're signals. And in Feng Shui, those signals either act as open invitations for abundance or silent barriers that keep it at bay. And here's where most people miss the mark. They assume good energy is something you hang on the wall or buy from a store or smudge with sage once a year. But the truth is much more subtle and much more powerful. Good energy is something you curate through attention, respect, and small, consistent decisions, especially at the place where your inside world meets the outside one, your door. In today's video, we're going to look at 7 common but quietly disruptive mistakes that far too many homes, yes, possibly yours, are making right now at the front entrance. These aren't just design oversights. They're energetic contradictions. They're the little things that seem harmless, but quietly build friction in your life. The kind of friction that makes you feel like you're always pushing, always stuck, always waiting for something to change. And here's the hard truth, that something might not be out there, it might be right at your doorstep. You see, the front door is more than just the physical boundary between you and the world. It's the mouth of energy, what Feng Shui calls the chi mouth. It's where life force enters. It's where new beginnings walk in. It's where old patterns are meant to exit. So when this area becomes blocked, neglected, or misaligned, you don't just get a messy foyer, you get stuck energy, mischance, restless sleep, arguments that seem to repeat, bills that feel harder to pay, opportunities that seem always just out of reach. And no, this isn't about believing in magic. This is about understanding that every object you allow near your entrance is a silent collaborator in the script of your life. Think about it this way. If you walked into a job interview and the office lobby was dusty, crowded with broken furniture, or smelled stale, what message would that send? You'd feel hesitant, uncomfortable, maybe even unsure of the company's values. Now flip that lens around. Your front door is your life's first impression, not just to visitors, but to energy itself. And the moment you begin to treat it like the sacred filter it is, things begin to shift. At New Day Mindfulness, we don't talk about energy to create fear or superstition. We talk about it because it's real, measurable, and incredibly influential. We've seen the results. Clients who cleared their entrance and suddenly got the phone call they'd been waiting months for. Viewers who reoriented their mirrors and found their sleep finally restored. Mothers who changed just one object near their door and watched as peace returned to a home that had felt tense for years. This isn't coincidence. This is design meeting intention. This is ancient wisdom made modern. And here's what's beautiful. You don't need to burn incense, chant mantras, or spend a fortune. You just need awareness. Because when you become mindful of the energy at your door, you're not just fixing a space, you're giving your life permission to evolve. So here's my promise. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to avoid and what to align. You'll learn how a tired doormat can repel success, how a misplaced mirror can bounce away your luck, why certain everyday items, like a harmless photo or a familiar pair of shoes, might be weighing down your momentum without you even realizing it. We'll break each one down, and I'll give you practical steps you can apply today, not next month, not someday, right now, because you deserve a home that supports your highest path. A space that whispers, not chaos, but clarity, that says, not "I'm overwhelmed," but "I'm ready." And if you've been feeling like life has been asking too much of you, or that you're always giving but never quite receiving, the answers might not be in another book, another app, or another self-help tip. They might be right here, right where your story begins, right at the door. So before we dive deeper, can I ask you for one small thing that means the world to me? If you find value in this message, or if even just one sentence so far has made you reflect, would you mind tapping that like button? Maybe hit share if you think a friend could use a shift in their space. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to New Day Mindfulness. Our next milestone is reaching 5,000 followers, and each one gets us closer to spreading this healing knowledge to more people who truly need it. I don't just want you to watch. I want you to join a growing community of people who believe in aligning their space, their energy, and their life with mindful purpose. That includes you, so take a breath, feel your feet on the ground, and get ready to see your home in a whole new light, because the door that leads to a better future might already be standing in front of you. Mistake 1, the overworked doormat, tired energy at first contact. The first object that greets your guests, your energy, and your new opportunities isn't your front door, it's your doormat. And yet for many people, that doormat is tired, faded, frayed at the edges, barely clinging to purpose. You step over it each day without thinking. But what you're really stepping over is a signal, because in Feng Shui, your entrance sets the tone for everything that follows. It's not just a doorway, it's a declaration. And if that declaration starts with a worn-out mat, you've just told the world, "I'm too busy to care," or worse, "I've stopped expecting anything new." That silent message travels. It moves with you through your home, into your conversations, your energy field, and your luck. It becomes your unspoken introduction to opportunity itself. And what kind of opportunity wants to enter a space that doesn't even know how to say hello with clarity? When you allow a neglected mat to sit at your threshold, you're reinforcing energy that says stale, forgotten, and unprepared. That's not superstition, it's psychology. Neuroscience confirms that the environments we move through affect our mood, decisions, and attention instantly. A clean, intentional threshold lowers stress, enhances focus, and boosts receptivity. A cluttered or broken one primes the mind for disorder. That's why something as small as a doormat can quietly shape your day before it even begins. If the first surface you stand on is one that feels forgotten, your mindset is already a step behind. In spiritual traditions across cultures, from the red thresholds of ancient China to the protective markings on doors in Europe, the entryway has always been viewed as sacred space, not because it's fancy, but because it represents the boundary between inner and outer worlds. In modern terms, your doormat is your energetic filter. It tells life, "This is where my presence begins." And so the question becomes, what does yours say? When you refresh that mat, when you replace the tired fibers with something clean, intact, and chosen, you're not just decorating, you're resetting. You're telling the space and yourself that you are open, that you are ready, that you are paying attention again. And that kind of clarity doesn't go unnoticed. Energy follows awareness. When your home receives with respect, your life tends to do the same. So don't overlook this. This isn't about perfection or wealth. It's about care. A fresh mat doesn't need to be expensive. It just needs to be deliberate. Choose a design or message that aligns with your intentions. Choose cleanliness. Choose symbolism. Because the next time you walk through your door, you deserve to be greeted with something that affirms your worth and welcomes in all that you've been asking for. And here's the deeper truth. You don't attract what you say you want. You attract what you show you're prepared to receive. A clear mat is one of the simplest signs that your space is ready for good things to find you. So before we explore the next mistake, pause and ask yourself, is your front mat inviting abundance or quietly turning it away? Mistake 2, the mirror misfire. Reflecting blessings back out. Some homes unknowingly repel what they crave most. Wealth, peace, clarity. Not because the opportunity never came, but because it wasn't allowed to stay. And often the reason is as simple and quiet as the mirror you've placed directly across from your front door. It might look elegant, it might catch the light beautifully, but in Feng Shui, what it's actually doing is pushing energy away. In traditional design thinking, we're often taught that mirrors expand space, that they make a foyer feel brighter, larger, more refined, and yes, aesthetically, they do. But energy doesn't follow trends, it follows flow. And when Qi, that vital life force, enters through your door and immediately strikes a mirror, it gets confused. Instead of moving forward into your home, it bounces, it deflects, it escapes. That means any prosperity, new connections, healing intentions, or fresh momentum that was heading into your life is now reflected away. Sometimes before you even realize it was at the threshold. This isn't just theory, it's something you feel. A front-facing mirror may seem harmless, but over time, it creates a subtle sense of friction. Guests can feel unsettled. You may find your morning starting with a scattered mind, and opportunities you thought were just about to happen seem to disappear as quickly as they arose. And it's not about mirrors being bad. They're powerful tools. In fact, in Feng Shui, mirrors are considered energetic multipliers. But like any multiplier, they amplify whatever they're pointed at. A mirror facing a cluttered hallway doubles the chaos. A mirror facing a bright garden amplifies vitality. But when that mirror faces your front door, it doesn't expand, it ejects. Think of your front entrance as the breath of your home. It inhales and exhales energy. You want that breath to be calm, intentional, and uninterrupted. A mirror placed in direct opposition becomes like a gust of wind hitting a closed window. It disrupts the breath. And over time, those disruptions can build into patterns. Tension that doesn't ease, money that doesn't stay, clarity that always seems just out of reach. And you may not even trace it back to the mirror because it feels so benign, so decorative, so ordinary. In modern architecture, reflective surfaces are often admired. We celebrate glass facades, chrome accents, the sleekness of high-gloss finishes. But in Feng Shui, it's not the shine, it's the direction. It's not whether it looks good, it's whether it lets energy move well. That's the question we forget to ask. What is this object actually doing to the flow? And more importantly, what is it unintentionally undoing? When a mirror reflects your door, it sends your life force back out the way it came in. You might find yourself working twice as hard to maintain progress, feeling drained even after rest, sensing that nothing ever quite settles. That's not a coincidence. It's an echo of misplaced reflection. So what do you do instead? If you love having a mirror in your entryway, reposition it. Let it reflect light from a window, not the door. Let it face something you want more of, a flourishing plant, a symbol of peace, a reminder of purpose. Use it to draw energy deeper into your home, not chase it away. And if you're unsure, try this. Cover the mirror for a few days and observe how the space feels. Often the clarity will come not from thought, but from sensation. Your home will tell you what it needs. And when you listen, you begin to design not just for beauty, but for harmony. Because here's the truth. We're not chasing luck. We're making space for it. A single adjustment, a mirror turned slightly, a reflection redirected, can shift the entire frequency of your entryway. If your blessings are bouncing before they even begin, it's not a matter of fate. It's a matter of placement. And you deserve a home that holds on to the good, that welcomes what you've earned, and that reflects not your worries, but your worth. Mistake 3, the silent absorbers. Dolls, stuffed animals, old toys. There are objects in your home that don't move, don't speak, and yet carry more emotional charge than anything else in the room. And some of the most overlooked among them are the soft ones. The dolls on the shelf, the stuffed animals slumped in corners, the childhood toys tucked near the entrance just because. At first glance, they seem harmless, cute even, but in Feng Shui, softness isn't always comfort. Sometimes it's storage. And these objects, especially when they resemble human forms or carry emotional associations, often act like energetic sponges. They absorb, they retain, they hold. And the question is, what are they holding on to? A plush rabbit gifted during a hospital stay, a porcelain doll handed down from a grandmother who always felt disappointed, a teddy bear that sat beside a child during their most anxious nights. These aren't just sentimental items. They are energetic recordings of emotion, of grief, fear, anxiety, and memory. And when placed near the entrance of a home, they become the first to meet incoming energy. That means that not only are they the first impression of your space, they are also the first receivers of every visitor's emotional field. Imagine guests walking in, tired from their day, burdened by something they're carrying, and without knowing it, depositing fragments of that tension into these silent absorbers. The space begins to feel heavier, slower, more nostalgic than alive. And that weight doesn't always show up clearly. Sometimes it shows up as a persistent feeling of being stuck, of walking into your own home and sighing more than smiling. And this isn't superstition, it's frequency. In quantum terms, all objects vibrate, and objects with human likeness, softness, and emotional context tend to vibrate in resonance with memory. That's why walking into a room full of antique dolls can feel eerie, or why a forgotten toy in a corner can still tug on your attention. We are biologically wired to respond to faces, to form emotional bonds with human-shaped things. But what happens when those faces silently hold unresolved emotion? What happens when that teddy bear near your front door isn't just a decoration, but a subconscious anchor to an older version of you? One who felt lost, or afraid, or unloved. Even high-profile individuals have recognized this phenomenon. Celebrities like Demi Lovato have publicly spoken about clearing their personal spaces of items tied to old pain. Objects that looked innocent but carried the emotional residue of a difficult chapter. Because here's the thing most people don't want to admit. Healing isn't just mental or spiritual, it's spatial. The environment we live in either mirrors our evolution or traps our regression. And when your entryway holds objects steeped in past wounds, it becomes harder to invite in the present, harder to rise, harder to receive. This doesn't mean you need to throw everything away. It means you need to ask better questions. Why is this doll here? Does it bring comfort or just nostalgia? Is this bear reminding you of resilience or quietly pulling you back into a place you've already outgrown? Energy doesn't need words. It lives in symbols. And soft, sentimental items carry some of the strongest symbolic weight, especially when positioned near doorways, where new energy is meant to arrive. If you're holding on to a collection of childhood toys by the door, pause. Ask yourself what role they're playing in the story of your space. Are they keepers of joy or caretakers of sorrow? Are they symbolic of growth or guardians of grief? And if the answer leans toward the past, it's time to gently move them. Relocate them to a more appropriate place, like a memory shelf tucked into a personal nook, away from the energetic highway of your entry, or let them go entirely with a blessing and gratitude. Because the front door isn't a museum, it's a portal. And the energy it receives should reflect who you are becoming, not who you used to be. If you've ever felt like abundance comes close but never settles, if clarity walks up but never walks in, check your doorway for quiet clutter that feels innocent but isn't. Soft things can whisper the loudest, and those whispers shape the atmosphere you walk into every day. Mistake 4, the lifeless beauty, dried flowers near the door. There's something undeniably graceful about dried flowers. They sit in their muted stillness, elegantly arranged, preserved in form, beauty suspended in time. But that stillness comes with a cost, because while they may please the eye, they carry a message your energy cannot ignore. Dried flowers are by nature the remnants of what once lived. They represent conclusion, not creation. They are beautiful, yes, but they are symbolically dead. And when placed near the front door, the very space responsible for welcoming vitality, momentum, and fresh opportunity, they quietly anchor the opposite: stillness, stagnation, aesthetic death. This isn't about style or decor taste, it's about energy. Feng Shui teaches that the front entrance isn't just an architectural detail, it's a filter. It's where all external energy is introduced into your life. Every choice you make around it becomes part of your energetic welcome mat. And when the first message your home broadcasts is, "This was once alive, but now it's not," you may unknowingly invite that same message into other areas of your life. Relationships that feel paused, money that comes but doesn't grow, opportunities that begin then fizzle. Dried flowers absorb more than they emit. Like emotional sponges, they hold the energy of the time in which they were harvested, but they don't regenerate. They don't transform. And energy, real, abundant, life-giving chi, needs movement. It needs a living circuit. Otherwise, it ricochets, stalls, or worse, begins to decay. That's why a front door flanked by dried roses or ornate preserved arrangements can sometimes feel haunting instead of healing. The space may be quiet, but it's the wrong kind of quiet, a stillness that borders on withdrawal rather than peace. You might not realize it, but even your own nervous system responds to the presence of life. Studies show that live plants reduce stress, boost serotonin, and elevate heart coherence. But dry botanicals, while elegant, don't activate these same biological responses. They are visual, not vibrational. They inspire memory, not momentum. And for a space that governs the inflow of all things new, health, clarity, wealth, connection, that memory can become a weight. So ask yourself, what does the entrance to your home feel like? Not just look like, but feel like. Is there motion in the air? Does it invite you forward? Or does it feel like a photo album, frozen, nostalgic, a little too quiet for the life you say you want to build? If you've been sensing a subtle heaviness at the start of each day, a reluctance to begin, a creative fog that lingers near the door, look again. It might not be your mindset, it might be your flowers. This doesn't mean beauty needs to go, it means it needs to live. Instead of dried bouquets, replace them with living plants, green, breathing symbols of growth and possibility. The jade plant, often called the money plant, is rich in symbolism and air-purifying energy. The peace lily balances aesthetics with subtle energetic purification. Lucky bamboo thrives in water and earth simultaneously, a beautiful metaphor for balance, rootedness, and upward flow. These aren't just plants. They're energetic collaborators, actively working with you to welcome what's next. And the shift can be immediate. A client once said that the moment she removed her dried lavender and replaced it with a living fern, she started sleeping more soundly. Not because the plant changed her life, but because the intention behind it did. When you choose life, symbolically, physically, energetically, you set the tone for more life to arrive. And your front door, as the entry point of all flow, deserves nothing less than living, growing affirmation. So the next time you admire the sculptural curve of a dried stem or the sepia tone of a preserved rose, pause, appreciate it, but ask yourself whether it belongs in the place where your future begins. Because elegance without vitality is not Feng Shui, it's decoration. And your life doesn't need more decoration. It needs movement, renewal, and space to bloom. Mistake 5, photos and keys. Overexposing what matters most. Some things by their very nature are meant to be protected, not hidden out of fear, but honored out of reverence. Your house keys, your family photos, the faces of the people you love most, the tools that unlock your private spaces. These aren't just objects, they're energetic symbols. And placing them near the front door, in plain view of every passing eye, may seem convenient. But energetically, it's a misstep that carries more weight than you realize. Because in Feng Shui, the closer something is to the threshold, the more exposed it becomes, not just physically, but vibrationally. And when we expose our most sacred things at the very entry point of our lives, we dilute their power and blur their protection. Let's begin with keys, practical, necessary, often tossed casually into a dish by the door or hung neatly on a hook by the entrance. It's efficient, yes, but efficiency isn't the same as energetic alignment. Keys represent access. They're the physical embodiment of permission. To display them openly right by the door is to energetically declare, here is the access to everything I hold. And even if you're not consciously thinking it, your environment is whispering it all the same. To guests, to passers-by, even to the subtle flow of qi entering your space. The message isn't one of strength. It's vulnerability disguised as order. Now let's consider photographs. Family portraits, especially. Smiling faces frozen in time. Meant to remind us of connection, love, identity. These photos often find their way to entryways out of habit. It's natural to want to greet yourself with warmth, to welcome others with images of joy. But here's the energetic truth. The front door is not just your welcome, it's your filter. Everything that crosses its threshold carries energy. And when you place family portraits too close to that threshold, you're exposing those intimate energies to every guest, every conversation, every intention, well-meaning or not. Feng Shui sees space as a story. The entrance is your prologue. If the first thing anyone sees upon entering your home is your family, you've skipped too many pages. You've handed the reader the heart of the story before they've earned the trust to hold it. This doesn't mean you should hide your love. It means you should protect its boundaries. In high-security architecture, there's a reason keys are stored away from entry points. Not out of paranoia, but out of precision. Even in sacred temples, the most revered symbols are never placed at the outer gate. They are kept within, in inner chambers, unveiled only once respect has been established. Why should our homes, our personal temples, be any different? If you've ever felt like your home lacks a sense of privacy, or that the people around you seem to know too much, too quickly, or even that your energy feels drained after visitors leave, this might be the subtle cause. You may be offering too much too soon. not through conversation or behavior, but through environment. Because when sacred items, like keys and photos, greet others before you do, you're energetically stepping back, letting the external world into your inner circle before permission is truly granted. So what's the remedy? It's simple. Relocate with intention. Move keys deeper into the home, perhaps in a drawer near the kitchen or a cabinet by the hallway. Choose a space that says, "This belongs to us," not "this is on display." As for family photos, let them live in rooms that already hold shared memories. Living rooms, hallways, spaces where laughter happens and conversations linger. Your front door should introduce your values, not your vulnerabilities. Instead of photos and keys, consider replacing these with symbols of welcome and intention. A piece of art that reflects your taste, a mirror angled to bounce light rather than energy, or even a plant that symbolizes growth and groundedness. These offer energetic openness without overexposure. They say, "You're welcome here," without saying, "Here's all that matters to me." And this is the core of the lesson. Privacy isn't secrecy, it's sovereignty. In an age where we're constantly encouraged to share everything, to be transparent, open, immediate, your home deserves to be your sanctuary. Not everything needs to be visible. Not everything needs to be instant. Some things need space to breathe, to be preserved, to be invited, not displayed. Your keys hold the structure of your life. Your photos hold its soul. Treat them as such, because when you protect what matters most, you don't create walls, you create depth. You create boundaries that honor, not restrict. And in doing so, you turn your home into a space where energy flows clearly, but never spills. Where guests feel welcome, but not invasive. Where you feel seen, but not scanned. Let your front door whisper invitation, not exposure. Because not everything sacred needs to be seen to be strong. Some things are strongest when held just a little closer to the heart. Mistake 6, the shoe pile trap. Stuck in the past. It always starts with something small. A single pair of shoes kicked off carelessly after a long day. Then another and another. Over time, the space near your front door begins to resemble a gallery of journeys already taken. Muddy soles, worn heels, shoes facing inward as if unsure whether they're coming or going. And without even realizing it, your threshold, the very edge of forward movement, becomes a gravitational pull to the past. In Feng Shui, the space around your entryway is more than a convenience zone. It is a directional signal to your life. And when that space is cluttered with shoes, especially ones pointed inward or stacked in confusion, you're not just storing footwear, you're storing hesitation. You're subconsciously scripting your story to loop, to regress, to stall. Shoes carry the energy of every place they've touched, every argument you walked away from, every hospital visit, every anxious commute, every job you were uncertain about. They all live quietly in the rubber and leather. And when those shoes sit at your entrance, especially in disarray, they become energetic markers. They echo yesterday, they trap yesterday, and they make it harder for today's clarity to arrive. In some cultures, shoe removal at the door is seen as a sign of respect, but Feng Shui takes it further. It's not just about removing shoes. It's about how and where they rest afterward, because an entryway littered with backward-facing shoes sends a message to the universe. I'm not moving forward. Think about this. When was the last time you walked into someone's home and were greeted by a tidy, clear entryway versus one choked with mismatched sneakers, slippers, boots? What did each space tell you without saying a word? What did it feel like in your body? Chances are, the cluttered doorway made you hesitate, even if just for a second. That hesitation, that energetic pause, is exactly what Feng Shui seeks to smooth. Because if your entrance is the first breath your home takes, then clutter there is a cough, a blockage, a stutter in the flow of your entire environment. And this isn't just symbolic. A 2020 study in home psychology found that individuals who kept visual clutter, especially around their front doors, reported significantly higher levels of mental fatigue, stress, and decreased motivation. Why? Because the brain registers disorder as incomplete tasks. That pile of shoes? To your subconscious, it's not just shoes. It's a message you haven't finished something. And day after day, that message accumulates. It snowballs. You begin your day already behind. You step out the door already scattered. You return home and re-enter old cycles, quite literally stepping over them to get back inside. So what's the remedy? Simplicity, structure, and flow. Begin by removing any shoes you haven't worn in months. If they're outdated, damaged, or tied to periods of emotional heaviness, donate them or discard them. Bless them, thank them for the miles they walked with you, and release them. Because keeping what no longer supports you is the spiritual equivalent of wearing shoes 2 sizes too small, tight, uncomfortable, and limiting your ability to move freely. Next, select a dedicated space for shoes, whether it's a closed cabinet, a minimalistic rack, or a recessed corner with baskets. The goal isn't to erase the shoes, it's to contain their energy. Ensure that any shoes left near the door face outward, symbolizing forward momentum, readiness, and the path ahead. This isn't just about aesthetics. It's about anchoring new behaviors through spatial cues. Neuroscience has long confirmed that environment shapes habit. If the first thing you see when leaving your home is a clear, intentional space, your brain receives a cue. We are organized. We are moving ahead. We know where we're going. And likewise, if the first thing you encounter upon returning is a mountain of yesterday's footsteps, your system subtly collapses into that same pace. Let's not forget that the entrance is where transitions happen. It's the space between the external and internal, the outer world and your inner sanctuary. If that liminal space is tangled, your transitions become tangled too. You may find yourself unable to shake off stress when coming home, or incapable of stepping into confidence when leaving. And while that might seem like an overstatement, it's not. Energy responds to invitation. Clarity responds to clarity. In Feng Shui, every item near the door should either support your arrival or empower your departure. A healthy plant? Yes. A grounding rug? Certainly. But a neglected pile of footwear carrying the residue of every difficult day, that's a weight no threshold should bear. You deserve a better beginning and a cleaner close. And here's something to ponder. In many high-performance coaching programs, elite athletes and entrepreneurs are encouraged to keep their transitional zones, such as entryways, vehicles, and morning routines, clear and intentional. Why? Because how you enter a space often determines how you perform within it. How you exit it determines what you carry forward. So the next time you walk out your front door, ask yourself, are my shoes pointed toward a future I want to step into? Or are they quietly pulling me back toward a version of myself I've outgrown? Because in the end, every threshold tells a story. Make sure yours is a story of direction, not distraction. Movement, not muddling. Progress, not pause. Clean the clutter, turn the shoes outward, and claim the energy of the path ahead. One clear, confident step at a time. Mistake 7. Dust and neglect. Invitation to low-vibration visitors. There's a quiet kind of invitation we send without meaning to. One not written in words, but in the language of disregard. Dust, smudges, forgotten corners, surfaces that once gleamed now dulled by time. In the world of Feng Shui, neglect is never neutral. It's an energetic signal, a silent beacon that says, this space isn't protected, this energy isn't tended, this life isn't awake. And that signal, subtle as it may seem, doesn't go unanswered. It draws in exactly the type of presence we want least: low vibration energy, stagnation, and in many traditions, the symbolic god of poverty. You've likely heard the phrase, where attention goes, energy flows. But its opposite is just as true. Where attention fades, energy decays. The front door isn't just the mouth of qi, the entry point of life force. It's the handshake your home extends to the world. When it's dusty, smeared, or left unclean for weeks, it's not just visually unpleasant. It's energetically porous. It suggests that nobody is watching, nobody is choosing. And in that silence, low energies seep in. Across many cultural lineages, from Chinese to Indian to Latin folk beliefs, the idea that neglect invites misfortune isn't superstition. It's encoded wisdom. In ancient Chinese folklore, the god of poverty isn't just a mythical figure with tattered clothes. He's a metaphor for energetic carelessness. He doesn't barge into pristine homes, he finds cracks in forgotten ones. And every cobweb, every layer of grime near your entrance is a whisper saying, "You're welcome here." But this isn't about fear, it's about awareness. If your front door has become an afterthought, if the windows nearby are smudged, the corners collecting dust, the mat untouched for weeks, then something more serious than dirt is settling there. A kind of energetic dullness, a spiritual inertia. And while that might not show up as disaster overnight, it creeps in as delays, small financial losses, missed opportunities, or emotional heaviness that makes no sense. Your environment is a mirror, and when the mirror clouds, reflection becomes distortion. When we leave dirt to linger, we anchor messages of neglect into the very structure of our days. And it starts small: procrastination, fatigue, arguments over nothing. But it builds. It weaves itself into the rhythm of your life until even the brightest intentions feel like they're moving through molasses. So how do we reverse it? We begin with reverence, not cleaning for appearance, but clearing with intention. A weekly ritual, not just sweeping the dust, but sweeping away the residue of stale emotion and stuck thoughts. Start with citrus. Lemongrass, orange, or lemon-infused water sprayed along the doorway, and window frames can cut through energetic heaviness like sunlight through fog. Not only do citrus oils purify the air, but their molecular vibration is sharp, bright, and uplifting, perfect for recalibrating the tone of your entry. Next, consider sound. A small bell, wind chime, or Tibetan tingsha rung near the door can break stagnant qi. Sound, especially clear and high-pitched, acts as an energetic broom. It slices through inertia, wakes the room up, invites movement. Do this while sweeping or after wiping down surfaces, and you'll feel the shift, not just in your home, but in your body. And then there's light. Clean your windows, not because someone might peek through, but because clarity should always be invited in. Dusty glass is like a clouded lens, blurring the energy that tries to enter. When you clear it, you're not just letting in more sun. You're saying, "I'm ready to see clearly. I'm willing to be seen." It's a small act, but like all things in Feng Shui, the smallest act can carry the deepest ripple. One more thing, speak into your cleaning. Not aloud necessarily, but with intention. As you wipe down your doorknob, think, "I welcome safe, abundant energy." As you sweep your mat, think, "I clear away yesterday's heaviness." It's not the action alone, it's the awareness within the action that reprograms your space. Because when cleaning becomes sacred, your space becomes sovereign. And when your space is sovereign, nothing chaotic can stake a claim inside it. This is what most people misunderstand. They see dust as an inconvenience. You now see it as a message. And the question becomes, are you going to keep ignoring the message, or will you rewrite it? Remember, low energy doesn't just wander in, it waits for an invitation. And in Feng Shui, neglect is that invitation. But you have the power to rescind it at any time. Right now, with a cloth, a spritz, a breath, a bell. And in doing so, you don't just clean, you reclaim. You don't just restore beauty, you restore balance. Because the front door isn't just where you walk in, it's where energy chooses whether to enter. And energy, like all things in life, respects care, respects clarity, respects intention. The unseen symbol that speaks loudest. You've adjusted your mat, you've repositioned your mirror, you've cleared the clutter, removed dried flowers, tucked away your shoes, dusted every edge of the doorway, and yet something still feels incomplete. Something still feels like it's just out of reach. That's because even after all the external changes, there's one symbol more powerful than any object you can buy, hang, or sweep around. And that symbol is your intention. This is the part nobody talks about because it's not visible. It's not something you can point to and photograph. It's the part of Feng Shui that doesn't rely on tradition, but on presence. And if you miss it, you'll find yourself rearranging again and again, hoping for different results from the same unchanged energy. Here's the truth. You can redecorate every square inch of your entryway, but if you walk past it every day with a heavy heart, a worried mind, or a closed spirit, nothing truly changes. Your home listens to you, not just to your voice, but to your vibration, your focus, your daily expectations. And those expectations, repeated often enough, become the blueprint your environment mirrors back to you. You want prosperity? You have to carry the energy of someone ready to receive it. You want peace? You have to stop rehearsing chaos in your mind while lighting calming candles on your porch. Energy doesn't follow intention alone. It follows embodied intention. So how do you shift from cleaning to commanding, from decorating to directing? It begins with a simple ritual, not mystical, not complex, but deeply human. Every morning before you step out into the world, stand at your front door. You don't need incense, you don't need a charm, you don't need to face any particular direction. You just need your breath. Breathe deeply, and out loud, yes, out loud, say what you are choosing to welcome today. Not what you're afraid of, not what you're afraid of, but what you're inviting. Say, today I welcome clarity, or today I'm open to ease, or today I invite laughter, grounded decisions, and peaceful momentum. And say it not like a wish, but like a promise. Because the most powerful thing you can do for your space isn't place something on it. It's to speak into it with belief, with repetition, with sincerity. Why out loud? Because vocalizing creates resonance, both inside you and in the air around you. Sound carries intention farther than thought alone. It gives shape to what was previously abstract. It cuts through stagnant energy like a tuning fork cutting through silence. And no, this isn't woo-woo, it's neuroscience. It's psychology. When you say something aloud with conviction, you're not just speaking to your space. You're rewiring your own brain. You're forming a new energetic agreement with your environment. Even some of the most successful minds in history knew this. Steve Jobs, for example, wasn't just a tech genius. He was a creature of ritual. Known for his stark wardrobe and minimalist office, what few people knew was that he had grounding routines he returned to daily. He would walk barefoot, pause in silence, and reaffirm his intent. Not in a spiritual sense, but in a deeply focused one. He knew that clarity isn't something you find, it's something you declare, and it starts at the threshold of your own awareness. What you say consistently becomes who you are, and who you are begins to shape what shows up. So take a moment and ask yourself, what are you unconsciously declaring every morning you rush out the door? One, stress, scarcity, distraction, or something more powerful, more deliberate, more aligned? Because your doorway is listening, and it doesn't just amplify what's there. It repeats it back in every area of your life. Relationships, career, finances, peace of mind. It all begins here. This isn't about being perfect. Some mornings you'll forget. Some mornings you'll feel like nothing is shifting. But remember this, every consistent choice you make to align your space with your deeper desires is a vote for your future self. And no object, no matter how sacred, can do that for you. Only you can. The mat, the mirror, the plant, the chime, they are tools. But you are the source. And the moment you realize that, you stop chasing energy and start becoming it. So tomorrow morning, before the chaos begins, take 30 seconds at your door. Breathe, speak, choose a breeze. Not for show, not because it's trending, but because it's true. Because this is what transforms a house into a haven and a threshold into a launch pad. And your words, they're the key. They always were. Final. The energy you allow, the life you live, before anyone ever hears your voice, your home has already spoken for you. And where does it speak the loudest? At the door. That single space, the first step between your world and the outer world, holds more power than we often realize. Because every choice you make at your entrance doesn't just greet others, it greets your future. And here's the truth that most people never hear. Energy doesn't wait for permission. It responds to what's already there. So if your doormat is tired, your mirror misplaced, your shoes cluttered, your flowers lifeless, your keys exposed, or your threshold neglected, that's the message being sent. Not just to guests, but to life itself. Let's be honest, most of us, without even realizing it, allow our entrances to become magnets for low vibration patterns. It starts small, a pile of shoes we haven't touched in months, a mirror we thought looked nice without considering its reflection, a vase of dried blooms that whisper more of what once was than what's becoming. And that's why things feel heavy. That's why progress feels delayed, clarity hard to reach, and opportunity strangely distant. Because while we chase abundance through action and ambition, we've forgotten to listen to the most honest part of our lives, the space we walk through every single day. Your front door isn't just an opening, it's a mirror. It reflects what you tolerate, what you neglect, and what you're truly ready for. And when you choose to treat it with presence, with living plants instead of dried ones, with clean mats instead of worn ones, with protected keys instead of exposed access, you begin to reshape the energy blueprint of your home, not just for show, not for tradition, but for real, practical, felt change. The kind that shifts conversations, deepens relationships, opens opportunities, and stabilizes your nervous system. So as we close this journey, I invite you to stand in your entrance tonight and simply ask, what is this space saying about me? And is it aligned with the version of life I'm ready to walk into? You don't need to be perfect. You don't need expensive decor. You just need awareness, intention, and the willingness to reset what's been unconsciously running on repeat. Because at New Day Mindfulness, our mission isn't to impress you with superstition. It's to ground you in attention. We believe that home is not a structure. It's a story. And every object, every corner, every habit you allow is a sentence in the story you're writing. Our role is to help you see what you've stopped noticing and remind you that sometimes the simplest adjustments bring the deepest transformation. So if this video spoke to you, if even one idea helped you see your space with new eyes, I invite you to share it. Leave a comment about your experience and subscribe to New Day Mindfulness. Your support helps us reach 5,000 followers, and more importantly, helps us keep bringing grounded, soulful insights straight to the spaces you live in every day. And above all, remember, you don't attract the life you want. You attract the life you prepare for. And it starts, not tomorrow, not next month, but the very next time you step through your own front door.